somehow in my head, this was going to be the love of my life. But remember, I had always wanted peace. I was aware, with me refusing to open a case, I was aware that I was making a stupid decision. I remember um, this police lady asking him, then why did you beat her up? The reason I was beat up, I was tortured almost to death, was because I did not want to give him my phone.
This guy almost left me a vegetables.
To my ex-boyfriend. What did I say? I'll be a fool to go back to my ex-boyfriend. Give me one.
Hi guys, welcome to this channel. My name is Usne, and let me be honest, I'm looking for a place to document my journey with GBV and the court cases that I am going through that are just never ending. These court cases have been longer than our relationship with this person. So to cut the matter short, I would like it if you thank you for tuning in. Basically, let me see that. Let me just say that. So, long story short, it's not going to be short at all though. Um, girl meets boy, boy meets girl. We fell in love, and just I was in a beautiful relationship once upon a time. It seemed beautiful. I wanted something that was close to home. I had been single I considered myself single for a very long time, and I was ready for a relationship. So I met this guy. He passed all the tests basically. I fell in love just like anybody else would. So I'm not gonna lie and say there were no red flags. Yes, there were red flags from the beginning. Not from the very beginning, obviously. However, in early stages of the relationship, I did pick up the red flags. Guy had a low self-esteem, and that would affect me. So because he would always accuse me of cheating if I was in a meeting with men, and besides the fact that I'd be in meetings with men, my life is pretty much surrounded by the male species, and this usually did not sit well with him, to a point that his words would the things that he would say, which is not nice at all. He would go as far as insulting me and accuse me of sleeping around. That I was not fine with. Therefore, I sent him for therapy. I asked him to see someone because I was not going to live on this. I saw this as being psychologically and emotionally abusive. So I sent him to therapy. And when he refused, because he saw that as a white people's thing, or rather, he was too black or too Zulu to go to therapy, I broke up with him. Until he decided that he is going to go for therapy, and I promised on supporting him. So according to my knowledge of what he told me at the time is that he did go for therapy, and the person that he saw, I don't remember whether it was a social worker or a psychologist, that verify the things that I had seen in him and my concerns basically, and he said he was willing to work on them. Fine. To cut the story short, it's not going to be short. I'm going to say that again. It's not a short story at all. However, to get to the basis of where I am right now, so I visit him. This was the third time. This was my third visit to him, or rather seeing him while he was deployed. He is in the SANDF, so he was on deployment at this time. I went to see him, and how this works is when the members of the SNDF are in deployment, they are not allowed to leave the base that they deployed in unless on permission. So for him to go see his girlfriend, nobody was ever going to permit that. So obviously, so what we would do is that I would go and pick him up. He will sneak out of the base. I would go bunk base basically. I will go and pick him up, and early in the morning before roll call. I think that's what they call it, roll call, where they are counted. They do this in the evening and in the morning. So I will pick him up after roll call or when it's a bit darker, and go drop him off before morning roll call. So this is how it always was. So we booked into a place. It was fine. It was beautiful for the most part. We had a beautiful weekend. I absolutely enjoyed spending time with him. It was fun and everything. So on the final night of our stay, we had planned a picnic. So we set up the picnic. We had the picnic. It was beautiful. It was actually beautiful, I'm not gonna lie, and I enjoyed it. And I was tired on that day, so I decided to sleep early. A couple of hours later, guy wakes me up, and yeah, he suggests we go for a shower. I agree, we go for a shower, and after that, obviously, I'm out of sleep. I have been sleeping, and he disturbed my sleep. So I'm scrolling on Facebook. He decide and he asked to see my phone. So I'm going to make this clear. As much as a lot of people are against couples checking others' phone, me, now when I get into a relationship, I go all in, and I'm usually not hiding anything. I come as bare as I can be. And yeah, just that. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So I don't mind this. So as I'm scrolling through Facebook, he asked to see my messenger, the messages on my messenger. I open them, and he goes to this specific person, and he checks the messages, and these messages are messages that he knew about, that I had told him about. So also in a relationship, I mean, I want to date my best friend. I usually will force my partner to be my best friend, like, because I will share, maybe overshare sometimes. Sure, I would share with him what I'll share with him my journey with my story with this guy. So the messages, most of actually everything that was there, he knew. Not everything, but it didn't matter. But most of the things that he did, it was things that I have told him about. Yet when he saw those messages, it was as if he's seeing them for the first time. It was as if any of that happened during our relationship, which actually happened after a relationship. And another thing about me you need to know, I do not delete. I don't delete. So there will be messages before the relationship. I just move on. So fine. uh he sees these messages, and he fights me about it. An argument starts. So then I tell him that, then I decide to lock my phone and let him know that, Mugai, you aren't you obviously seemingly are not mature enough to see my messages. I gave you my messages trusting you, Uguti, knowing that I have nothing to find, but also trusting that you are mature, and clearly you aren't. So he beats me up. Okay, no, he just doesn't beat me up. Obviously, I tried to run for my life. I went outside. So these are the early hours of the morning. I'll let you know this. It is about 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I don't remember very well. Lock myself in the bathroom, all those things to just avoid this confrontation, because this guy wants my phone, and I'm letting him know that I gave you my phone. I'm willing to give you my phone. But upstairs, you cannot comprehend. So let's just stop this. So then, to a point that he promises me to say, okay, he makes me confess that I'm cheating, of which obviously I'm not. And if I confess to cheating, he's obviously going to stop this bullshit. uh, he's going to stop this, and I can't sleep. I mean, like, yeah, I can't sleep. So I confessed to cheating. He asked the name of the person. I let him know the name of the person, of which I made up a name. I wasn't cheating. um where am I? Yeah, so I let him know this. So it seems like as if it's relaxed as I'm getting ready to sleep. I mean, guy comes on me, and he's trying to have me unlock my phone with my fingerprints. I refuse until he beats me up. He beats me up. Okay, so this guy had suspected me of sleeping with my uncle. So he accused, I mean, he beats me up. Actually, he doesn't like he doesn't like it when I say he beat me up. He tortured me. So what he had done, he'd massaged me. Let me just say that. He'd massaged me he massaged me with his elbow all over my forehead, and he tried to me. I would say this guy wanted to leave me a vegetable, because from there he tried to get my teeth off. For the longest time my gums were bleeding, they were affected. And then he tried to get my eyes off. I think this is what he was trying to do. That's just the only way that I can make sense of this whole situation. It clearly, I would never know, because I've asked him a number of times, what is it that you were trying to do? So he does that until I'm weak enough, I have no fighting power or over anymore. And he gets the phone, he looks for the name of the person that I said I'm cheating with. There clearly isn't in anybody, and he knows that I don't delete, because I've told him this before. And I get a bit, then he clearly think, I don't know what he made up of that. He goes to the messages that he wanted to see. He sees messages, obviously it is before our relationship before our relationship, to the time that before our relationship solidified. um Let me put this. So I met this person, he was going to deployment very soon. So I did not expect our relationship to go as far as it was. So obviously I was going to entertain people. I was a single person. um However, when our relationship solidified, I stopped speaking to anyone and everyone that um could come in between me and my relationship with this person, because I'm just that person in a relationship, actually. But also I am very honest. Also I am really, really basically I commit. When I am in a relationship, I commit fully. So I this happened between so this happened for hours. He tortured me for hours and hours and hours, until he got the phone. He saw what's on the phone, and then it was time for him to go. And because I didn't want to risk him losing his job, I went and dropped him off at the base. He takes my phone. Oh, after this whole thing, he accuses me of cheating. These messages during our relationship, after everything I've done for you, everything, all of that bullshit, all of that that he says. And he takes my, he demands me to give him a 15,000 rands. I almost gave him. Then I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to go work. Let me go work. Hopefully also during that time when I'd be away, he'd come to his senses. So I say I'll go work, and then I'm gonna give you that 15,000 rand. What is that 15,000 rand for? I don't know. This guy hadn't spent even 10,000 rands on me. Even half of that, he hadn't spent even a quarter of that, actually, on me solely. Perhaps when we were together, he had spent maybe a quarter or more. However, but the money that he had spent on me, it wasn't even half of that 15,000 rands. But I'm like, you know what? To cut just so that there is to cut the chase. Basically, I'm gonna give you this money. He wants it now, so I'm like, but let me go work, and so that I'm gonna give you this, so that I'm able to give you this money. He decides that he's gonna take my laptops, honey. I use my laptops for working. How else? And so I also that day I was meant to leave and go to Joburg for work commitment. I let him know, so he tells me that you're not going there. And fine. And because I was using his car, I had also asked if I could go with his car to Joburg, and he had refused. So I had decided that, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop his car off in Pietermaritzburg, then go to Durban and fly to Joburg. In Joburg, I'd use my sister's car. It is okay. Then he forbids me from going. He takes my laptops, he takes my phone, and he goes to work. I come back and I write this note. I'm gonna paste this note here. I let him know. At first I wrote a whole lot of junk and I deleted it. I scratched it off because I wrote by paper. And I wrote him this. Basically, it was the reason why I haven't been to the police and laid charges against this is because, first of all, I love you and I care about you. Secondly, I don't know your son yet. I had met his son, but I didn't have a relationship with his son. I don't know your son, but I don't want, but obviously he's your son and I'm going to care about him, so I'm not going to jeopardize his future. Three, you are lucky that you still have a parent. His mother is still alive, and he had told me that he takes care of his mother. So I tell him that, well, because you take care of your mother, I mean, like, besides him taking care of his mother, it will destroy his mother. It will just kill her to have him in trouble, get into trouble with the law. And this would possibly, since I know that he's not even supposed to be away from the base, it will get him into trouble at work. So I didn't want to risk all of those things. So all I expected for him was maybe gratitude, but definitely I wanted him to show remorse for what he had done. During the day, because he had my phone, during the day I did go out. What I had done is, yes, I wasn't going to lay charges. However, I wanted to document this. Somehow in my head, this was going to be the love of my life. The relationship was going to continue and we were going to, yeah, live almost happily ever after, hopefully. I think that's what I had in my mind. But anyways, so I wanted to document this. In my mind, I had thought that maybe in 3 years time, if this ever happens again, I don't know why I gave myself 3 years. So I was like, if he ever abuses me again, I will pull up the files. So I thought I could just go to the doctor, have a J88, and keep it for record purposes. However, the doctors told me that that's not how you do it. I need to go to the police station. I go to the police station. They explained, oh, I am told that I'm not getting a J88 because I'm not opening a case. So, however, this lady that helped me, and shout out to J Booty, Constable Booty, thank you very much. Me and this lady have become friends. She was very supportive, and I think till this day she is. And there are a few policemen I know that are like you. So she tells me that, okay, fine, you're not opening a charge. However, you're here and you aren't well, and I'm not going to let you go. How can I help you? And I'm like, okay, you can't get him to bring my phone back. So they call him and threaten that if he doesn't bring my phone, they're going to come there and it'll be dramatic for him and it'll draw a lot of attention if he can't, if they come with a police van. So he opts to come and bring back my phone, and he brings my laptop back with him. I remember this police lady asking him, then why did you beat her up? That time I can't even speak. I need you to know that I can't even speak. I can't walk properly. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. He asked him, why am I like this? He's like, she didn't want to give me my phone. I'll repeat that again. The reason I was beat up, I was tortured almost to death, was because I did not want to give him my phone. And that was a valid reason for him, and it justified his acts. So she lets him know that, that she does not want to lay charges. So how are you going to thank her? And she says, I don't know. She asked me, what do you want? And this guy knew that I had asked him. My camera had recently been stolen, so I had asked him to please give me a camera. He did let me know that he can't afford a camera, and that was it. And he says this again, so it's fine. So this lady says that, the police lady says that, now take her to the doctor. On her way to, so he tells him to go for a thingy, get the car and pick me at the gates at the police station. And she carries my laptop bag, and she puts it in the back, at the back of the car. Fine. And when we get going to the doctor, on our way to the doctor, he lets me know that his cards are not with him. Can I please pay and he will reimburse me at the doctor. So I agreed to that. I will go to the doctor. The doctor was unfortunately not there, and it was almost time for roll call. So he needed to go to the base. Um, he goes to the base. I come back. I go to the doctor. I see the doctor. I remember explaining the entire story to the doctor, and I remember him, and this always gets me emotional because I was so stupid and he warned me. So I was aware, with me refusing to open a case, I was aware that I was making a stupid decision, and I was content with it. I'm not opening a case. Um, Reason why is I'm still emotional, and I never wanted to be part of the statistics that of people that, or rather women, I mean, to be specific, that open cases only to later drop the charges again and withdraw the case, withdraw the charges. So, and also I was 100%, I was ashamed. I was ashamed of being in the situation that I was abused. And this relationship, I must say, I was boasting about it. I've been single for a very long time, and to be in a relationship and be in a relationship that was almost perfect, damn, it felt good. So this doctor did let me know that you need to at least trust one person, and I was like, I told him I considered it, but I just never gathered the strength to tell any of my sisters. I wasn't able to. I came back. I mean, I actually told people that I was in a car accident. Fast forward, um I have to go and fetch him. I fetch him, come back. He's still not remorseful. He's still blaming me for everything that happened, calling me names and insulting me. Fine. Also, I hadn't taken my laptop back from the I hadn't taken my laptop back from the car because the place that we were booked in seemed very, very safe. And obviously, my whole body was in pain. So, to carry a heavy laptop bag, I wasn't going to be able to, only as well. I was leaving the following morning. So, because it's safe to carry this bag to the room and out again in the morning, I mean, I'm going to be hurting myself. So, I decided to to leave the bag in the car. The following day, I take him to, actually we spent the whole night, actually not in good terms. And in the morning he was almost late and he blamed me. I had been waking him up the usual time and he wasn't waking up, yet he had the audacity to blame me for what was happening in his life. That he was late if he gets caught and relieved of his duties and brought back to his original base, his home base, I think that's what they called, I will be responsible for that. Yet I was the one who was waking him up and making sure that he comes, making sure that he isn't late. Never mind that. I come back and I rest a bit and I get ready to pack. As I pack, my bag is not there. My laptop bag is not there. I call him. He says he doesn't know the bag. He didn't see my laptop bag. And I call the cops to open a case. And I call the owner of the place to give me access to the footage of the place. Thingy of the footage. What could have possibly happened to the car? Sharp. That led me, actually him asking me to please stay longer, and I had to pay out of my pocket, and him promised me, saying me to reimburse me the money that I had used. Fine. Sharp. I come back home. Oh, I need to also point this out. So this guy, at some point my sister was on some, how about I fly to the nearest airport and make my way there so that I can at least drive you. And he says, what if your sister picks up on the real reason you are injured and you, so let's rather not. So I respect that. Remember, I'm still in love with this person. Nothing for me has changed. Yes, he made a mistake and got me into the condition that I am in. However, couples go through things, don't they? So this was on Monday when he picked me up. Monday morning at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., somewhere there. And then I finally leave on Friday. On Friday, this is the day that he was getting paid. I let him know that, well, I will need my laptop. He says that I need to take his laptop, and I tell him that I can't. His laptop, actually, he just plays games. I need a thingy with a my technical language is just off the door right now. It just flew out the window. So I refuse. I let him know Uguti, the nature of laptop that I'm gonna need, and he pretends not to know about it. So I drove, instead of 4 hours, I drove 9 hours to come back home. And it's not even as if he's checking me on the way. He isn't. And this person, before this entire thing, we would constantly be on video call. We would constantly be on call. Actually, probably a drive to Durban, which is about 2.5 hours, we would be an hour and a half on the phone on my drive there. He would be constantly checking on me. We'd have long talks and we enjoy talking to each other. So this time I'm injured, because he also told me my entire body. I must also make it known that I couldn't even drive that week. I couldn't, for the most part. When he was there, he would see that how, because it's a manual car, it would be difficult for me to change gears. And if he was there when I was taking him to the base and back, he would change gears for me. So I drive for 9 hours and I have to change my own gears. Nje, I'm on my own. I get here, I'm expecting him. I think what I expected from him, not I think, I'm certain, all I expected from him was gratitude. That I saved his job and that I didn't open a case. And I also expected him to be remorseful for what he had done. I thought it was a mistake, and it was never that. So fine. Every day, let me just say, so for a month I didn't open a case. I'm here, but each and every day I'm living for this guy's insults, to a point that I will let him know that, dude, after what I had done to you, you should be, praising me. You should be worshiping me. However, that is not the case. I let him know that, at some point I'm gonna gather the strength to come and open a charge where you at, and a case, and go to the police where you at. And most time he's like, don't do that. But sometimes he'd really like, oh, you can come. You threatening me. I think he thought I would really never do that. So time came and I was like, I am going there. If I told you that it was the Valentine period, I told my people, because nobody, not a single person knew what was going on. So I told my people, there's this guy that I'm extremely close to. He's more of a brother than my brothers are. He's more of an uncle than my uncle are. Uh, we're very close. So I told him that I'm going on to spend Valentine's with my people. Nobody knows the situation is bad between me and this guy. And yeah, I let him know that I tell him that I'm going to spend Valentine's Day, and on the side with him, I'm letting him know that I think I'm going to put that texture again. I'm willing to compromise. However, what is he bringing to the table? Because ever since he did this, he has never done. Oh, also, I need to point out that when I went to the doctor, my left ear, had been severely damaged, and what is it, referred me to a ENT. And but the ENT from where he was like more than an hour, hour and a half to get there. So I said it's no use, let me rather come back home and I'll see an ENT. So I did see an ENT when I got here, who referred me to um an ear specialist in Durban. um and all of this, I'm using my own money. This guy isn't gonna fuck off a cent out of his own money. um yes, so he wasn't going willing to fork out a cent out of his own money, to a point that because I saw that he's not remorseful, he's not doing anything, and I had been driving his car. I i i took his car keys, and I want no let me just specify, I drove his car to our date weekend when this incident happened, and back. And when I went to Durban to the ear specialist and I came back, on my way back, he promised, he wished ill on me. He told me he wishes the car could be stolen in my possession, or he also said, or am I get involved in an accident. So I decided to keep his car keys, to take his car to his place of residence and keep the car keys. So I finally gathered the strength, and I am asking, dude, since you did this, you haven't done absolutely anything um contributed to my ill health. And I'm realizing that you can actually see the marks right here, right here, right here. Even with, yes, I'm not, I didn't put heavy makeup, but I did try and put light makeup. But yeah, the discoloration is real. Discoloration, yes, is real. So I told this guy that I'm going to go there. However, I let him know that, dude, I think, I suspect that maybe we're just not communicating well over the phone. Perhaps I'm gonna get there and try and have a conversation with you and discuss this thing. Hopefully we can iron things out, and when I come back, things will be back to normal. However, if that doesn't happen, my fuel is not going to go to waste. I am going to have I let him know that I am going to then go to the policeman. So I had a tire, actually I had a burst tire. um Due to this, I had asked that he borrows me his tire, because we drive our car sharing the same tires. And he's like, I'm not going to give you my tire so that you can come get me arrested. And I'm like, I didn't say I'm coming to get you arrested. I said I'm coming to have, I'm trying to iron this thing out. However, it will be up to you if you want me to get you arrested. So I get there. Hey, if I told you that it took me 5 hours to get there. He knew on my way. When he called in the morning and I let him know, he asked where I'm at, I let him know, Ukuthi, I'm on my way. He was like, go back. And when you come here, I'm not going to see. I'm like, fine, if you don't see me, I'm going to the police station, but I am going to attempt to resolve issues with you. And what I would had been asking for, because obviously at this time I'm not working, because I had asked him to buy me one laptop, and I expected him to know that, fixing, he needed to fix my ear. But obviously we weren't on the same page. So I go to him. He waits for me to get there. He tells me that he's in a meeting. I call him. I let him know that I'm here. He says, well, we're in a meeting. If I tell you, get it, this guy only works weekdays. What meeting on a Sunday? It was a Sunday. That's why I couldn't get a tire myself, actually, because it was a Sunday. And on Saturday, I had been to a funeral that it was crucial that I attend. So it's a Sunday. I go there. He says the meeting. What meeting on a Sunday? From there he comes. From the meeting he asked me, I'm finished the meeting. Where are you? I let him know I'm still here. He says I'm going to do lunch. I drove for 5 hours. You didn't see the need to do laundry. Only when I'm here you're seeing the need to do laundry. Fine. I continue waiting. He finishes with his laundry and we have this conversation. I'm telling you that he swore at me further, he insulted me. There was no way. So actually, while I was waiting, I had also called this police lady. She was like, fine, I'm coming to see you. We can meet at a police station. um yeah. So I decide, it got so heated that I'm like, well, there's no resolving anything here. I'm gonna go to the police station. And at the police station, I got there. So this girl relays the thing, because we speak different languages to the people here. There, she relays my story to the police, because she wasn't on duty. To the police on duty, and the police on duty, she was like, go and mediate. If I tell you, Guti, we went there, and this guy further assaulted me in front of a police officer. We failed to reach a resolution again, and that's when I was given the J88 to go to the doctor, because the doctor had recorded my injuries. In the morning, oh, we did not sleep that day. Still not remorseful. He is telling me how I am after his money, and if I tell you his rank, you too would ask, what money was I after? So he Jay, the entire night we did not sleep. If I tell you that we did not sleep the entire night, him insulting me, um, he'd say, "Please don't do it. Please go back home. Don't open a charge. I'm gonna do this." And I'm like, oh, so I think, Jay, an example of what he said. He said to me, I'm gonna buy you your laptop. Fine. And I'm saying, obviously, I'm going to give you money to buy the laptop. It's like, obviously, that includes petrol, because I live in a small town. The laptop, I won't get it here. And he's like, oh, you want more money? You want my one? When are you just extorting money from me and all of that jazz? To a point that he says, thank God your mother died. Your mother died because you are revengeful. This is a person that 36 days had passed without me laying a charge and trying to find a solution for this problem, what he had done to me. And he calls me revengeful. And the following day, I went to the doctor. He filled in the J88. He calls me. He says, I'm going to go to the bank and go apply for a loan. He invites me with him. So this guy, I knew he had played, because I had been, from the first time, from the very beginning, when he said he doesn't have money, I had said, I'm human. However, you could be lying. Just show me your bank statement to prove that you really don't have the money, and I'm going to leave you alone. And he just wouldn't. To a point, obviously he would say, I'm not married to you, I don't owe you anything, I don't owe you, I'm not going to show you my finances, which was actually okay. And I'll tell him everything that this guy did and refused, or did not do, would refuse to do. I would respect that. I will tell him, you have every right. However, the repercussions of you doing this, as I'm doing this, because if you show me that you are really broke, I'm human, I'm gonna understand. However, if you are telling me that if you're refusing to show me, I'm gonna say you're lying. You've lied so many times before, so I'm not gonna believe you. Fine. We go to the bank. Obviously he had cooked, because I did see his payslip, And you need to know that these people get almost double when they are thinking. They get paid a lot of money when they are there. Plus, he is in a specializing field, so he gets much paid much more than his living expenses. And he'd only been there what 4 or 5 months, 4 months, and I he's not buying food, he's not buying petrol. I mean, like, he's not traveling anyway. He's supposed to have his thingy finances in order, but he had cooked his back that he thingy. They say that, well, you can apply for a loan, however chances are minimum that he gets it. He banks on him, on the thingy, on the consulting, saying good chances. I mean, he says, well, the bank says I'm not gonna be approved for a loan. So I'm like, oh, okay, I mean, I'm going on and I'm pressing charges. So I press charges. I get called the next day by the investigating officer. The investigating officer lets me know that he's going to pick him up. And oh, he was going he was gonna go out of the base. And I tell the investigating officer, well, run, this is the car that if you meet thingy, come across this car on your way there, this is the car that he is driving. And luckily he found him there, and it got called in. And I get a call from his seniors who tried again to resolve the issue. We meet them at the police station. I'm cutting a lot of things here. This video is already very long. So the things that I feel that are not necessary, I'm not going. So yeah, his thing is seniors come and they try and negotiate with me. So remember, Mina, I'm still in love with this guy. I came here not to have him arrested, not to kiss my relationship goodbye, or our relation. Well, it was my relationship at that time. I was just blind to see that he was no longer in love with me. However, what is it that I wanted to say? So yes, so when his seniors at work talked to me, they finally convinced me to drop the charges. And obviously I have terms, I need to work. Secondly, fix my ear. I'm not a medical aid, and I'm not going to go to a public hospital. I haven't done that. Each time I need a medical in thingy intervention, I do it privately. So this guy injured me, this guy assaulted me to a point that I am now having ear problems. My hearing is impaired, and I must go to a public hospital. Hell no. So those are my terms. They try and negotiate it. Oh gosh, oh, I was with spent, and he was like, no, I don't have money. So his direct superior says, I'm gonna borrow you the money. Are you aware of what you're putting yourself into? And he says, yes, I'm aware. I just don't have the money. Little and he says, like, okay, fine, I'm going to pay no, let me go through with this court thing. And I would say that he was treated fairly, because he was arrested that same day, went to court that same day, charged, went to court the same day, and he was given 500 bail for me looking like this. But it's fine. Yeah, that was it. I came back, and when I came back, on my way back, um the person in charge of the base that side calls me. I think these guys had gone there to report what had happened, not to give the thing it so to give the guy feedback. He calls me, and he wants to negotiate, and I say, fine, I'm gonna come. However, on basis that my petrol is paid and it's late now. I think it was getting late, it was dark, that my petrol is paid, and I receive a thingy, and he books me accommodation. he was paid that day. He says he doesn't have money. Later, I will learn, Ugut, he says he doesn't have money. He would later have girlfriends in that area, and he was booking, into accommodations. So to save his job, to save his life, to cut, this court cases, because we really don't know for what he did. Obviously, he deserved. If justice works in our country, he would have to be locked up. But he was already released with. Sorry, I don't want to be emotional, but yeah, he was already released for 500 rands. So, and given special treatments on top of that. But we don't know really what might happen at the end of the day. So fine, we go, and I he refuses. I go, I get home, fine. Remember I told you my laptops were missing? Almost 2 weeks after I came back. No, 10 days. 10 days. Yeah, that is almost 2 weeks. I receive an SMS letting me know where my laptops are. It is his way of writing. I knew this was from him. He denies. We try calling him. He denies this. So fine. I So how this happened is I get a call from an unknown number. I had just fallen asleep, so I wasn't deep into sleep yet. So I had fallen asleep and I get a call. This person is not speaking. This person is walking. Um, and then I received an SMS. I call this person back. They answer. They're not speaking. I receive an SMS, and it says your laptop are at this B&B where we had booked at. Fine. I knew it was him. I have no way of finding out. So rather, let me do this. I will do a separate video of how this guy stole my laptops. How I knew he stole my laptops. Let's jump into. He returns here month end. He returns, he calls me, he's told me he has been let go from deployment. He's coming back, and with him coming back, because I had his house keys, he asked me to fetch him. And remember, I had always wanted peace. I had always hoped that we would someday reach a solution. So I agreed to this. As much as this guy that I mentioned before, the guy that is my brother, I'm gonna say his name, Oputbeki. Throughout the stories, you're gonna see Oputbeki, and you're going to hear a lot of Oputbeki. Oputbeki is like, I don't trust this person. This person will kill you. Don't go there. Take his kids. And I'm like, he gets here at 2 a.m. And he's like, he can book a cab. And I'm like, but let me just go. I do that. Okay, says he's gonna be at 1. He's gonna get here at 1. So I leave home early so that he gets there and I'm there. I don't even get a sorry. He comes an hour later. He's not picking up my phone for this entire hour. He gets here an hour later, and I don't even get a thank you. Thank you, you came to fetch me. I later went to Ubudbeki. Oh no, the following we go there. I sleep with him. Obviously, the deed didn't happen. I'm gonna be honest. I wanted the deed. He did not want the deed. Yeah. So the following day, obviously, I'm trying, and I will say this: before, I had tried to involve his colleague. I don't know what he said to him. I would later learn that he said some harsh words to him, and he was like, let me not get into your issues. I don't want to get involved. I respect that. It is fine. So on the day that I went to press charges and came back, then when I think he got the 500 rand bail, I had called his sister and I asked her, to intervene and let her know that actually what I want is peace. Um, she did tell me that, oh, it's not going to be today. Yeah. So his sister that let me know what he is stubborn. Um, so he's not going to hear anyone. And I would later learn that even on the day, I mean, like, obviously, I was willing to negotiate it. I was the one who was wronged. I was the one who was beaten up. Yet all this time, I was always the one who was say, let's work on this, let's compromise, let's reach an agreement and everything. So that just goes out to say thingy to showing the kind of person that he is. So fine, he comes back to his home base where I live, and we I try to resolve things again. I take him to Uputbegi. Uputbegi buys his story. Oh, this guy's good with words. But Uputbegi's only concern is I've never seen Usne so angry. She doesn't get angry at all. So what is it that you did to her? And obviously he puts his story and Nj, yeah, and he acts all innocent. Fine. And another thing is, my mother had always been, my aunt actually, whom I called Umama Naye, whom I called my mom, had always wanted to speak to him and also try and find a solution for this whole thing and just speak to him long before she even knew, oh, this guy assaulted me. And he was just, and oh, so that day was the day he he said he will call. So Umama calls and this guy says that I'll call you later. Let's just find a way we would stop and we'll talk to you. And that never happens. Story for another day. What happened there? Um okay, no, let me just get into it. What happened there is he got out of the car. We found a place to stop. He got out of the car and he got out of the car and he called somebody to come pick him up. To come pick him up. And remember, his car is at a place
I begin to I begin to